So it looks like the Ukraine war is about to end, and it's all down, of course, to Donald Trump, as he promised. And he's done something which Biden and the EU leaders, including UK, could have done years ago, but they chose not to. They chose to prolong this war. Thousands of young men and women dead, and for what? So anyway, after that massive row in the White House the other week, Zelensky now states that he wants peace talks and a deal with Trump. And he says he has regrets about that massive row. But I think, Zelensky needed to hear what Trump and J.D. Vance told him. He needed the truth. He knew he didn't have all the cards. He needed Trump to tell him that, give him a reality check, and the US wouldn't be funding his forever war for much longer. And he was true to his word. The other day he put a stop tap on funds to the Ukraine. And that's all it took. That's all it took for Zelensky to see sense, bend the knee, and do as he's told. And interestingly, despite the little tour he did of Europe and coming to Downing Street the other day and Keir Starmer licking his arse, giving him more money, he said, and I quote, "I'm willing to work under Trump's strong leadership," end quote. Because he knows what Britain offers simply isn't enough to stop the Russians. The only two countries in Europe who promised troops to the Ukraine were France and the UK, and Zelensky just didn't have any faith in them. Every other EU country pulled out, especially after Italy's Prime Minister. She said no, because they know if they threw in troops in, then the war would last forever, and you're talking about nuclear Armageddon. Trump was right. Zelensky was gambling with World War III. Zelensky said he knows his country won't last long, and according to military experts, Ukraine had, a week, days tops of fighting the Russians before everything ran out. Hence, that's why they were going around in vans and kidnapping young men off the streets in the Ukraine to throw into the frontline meat grinder. Zelensky knew full well that he wouldn't last long without the support of Trump. Zelensky knew he didn't have all the cards, and Trump told him so. And there are people online, on X especially, who are quite incensed with this peace deal. They want this fighting to go on forever. And it's odd because back in 2016 you had all the woke progressives crying after Trump was first elected that he was going to start World War III. And now, fast forward 9 years later, they're crying because he's stopping it. So the guy's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. But can you imagine if Kamala Harris had won the election, then this war would have gone on. And who knows, World War III perhaps. But thank God for President Trump for grabbing this particular bull by the horns as it needed to, and dealing with it and certain people like only he could. And he saved millions of lives in the process. Give the guy a Nobel Peace Prize, that's what I say. Why couldn't Biden do this? Why couldn't the European leaders do this? Why couldn't Britain do this? All they had to do was turn off the money tap and put allied personnel in the Ukraine digging for precious earth or precious minerals, which would have stopped the Russians in their tracks, and it has. Sometimes the simpler solutions are the best, aren't they? So there we go. And if Starmer had any bollocks on him, he would tell Zelensky and the Ukraine to somehow pay back the billions of British taxpayers' money that went to fund this war in the first place, but he won't. It was Shrove Tuesday yesterday, yet there he was in Westminster Hall, entertaining another community instead. Go figure. Anyway, there we go. I'm Paz49. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, Roger Trout.